You heard some of the children say the word water in Norwegian and in other languages that they know through the instruments and also through the sound of water, the shore that is recorded. This is a part of an installation called Water Level, Vannstand, which I've been doing a couple of years ago in main Norwegian coastal cities involving children and also presented for children. The result is 8 speakers, and the sound is coming through these 8 speakers. What we heard now was a track from a version that I just did in Harstad, just two of the speakers, so it was quite contemplative. With all the 8 channels, it's quite a lot more than what you hear now. The work is a sound art work, about 20 minutes long. My name is Maja S. Ratkje. I come from Trondheim in Norway, but I lived in Oslo or on the south part of Norway since 94, 93, yeah. It's a lot to digest and it's a lot to think about. And for me, so I learned about these things when I was young. I was interested and I had academic parents and my mother is a scientist. And I knew about all this from the 80s with the book Gaia, with Brundtland-kommissionen and all that. And I learned about democracy in school and I thought, well, we live in a civilized world where politicians will eventually take care of these problems. So when I started to be interested in music, I went into that and didn't think so much about climate change and environmental issues because I was fully concentrated on becoming an artist. And then I went out from the Music Academy 5 years later and nothing had changed except to the worse. I started to feel more impatient, and then I also figured out that I couldn't go on making art without taking this into my art. I would feel this cognitive dissonance term that I've learned from Dr. Vetlesen, where what you know is so far from what you do or how you lead your life that it's impossible to live fully. I have been a part of the green movement already when I was a teenager, and now it was time to get back into the field. And what is very difficult is to see how you as an artist can use your knowledge or even try to change things, also without becoming too depressed because you are going into the field and you have to think about it all the time, and that is quite hard also. I think there are many strategies for this. People have been asking me, how do you do it, and how do you feel that you affect people, or is it worth it? And you can also get accusations that your art is less interesting if it's too obvious or if it's about something concrete. You've all learned or heard that, I guess. Especially in the 90s, that was very much the thing, where everything should be blurred into this postmodernist collage idea that you are just saying a lot of things at once, as complex as once, all the 12 tones and everything more, much more, just at once. So I need to find some clarity also in order to become an artist that didn't sound like everyone else. I thought that's not, of course, the driving force at all. And it took a very long time before I could make work that also showed my engagement in environment. There are many examples of it. One big work I want to mention before I go back to Vannstand, or Water Level, is when I was invited to write an orchestra piece for the Norwegian Constitution celebration. It was a piece that was going to be performed by all the symphony orchestras in Norway, so that was a very big event for me. And I was invited to make a quite short piece, like a fanfare or something. And I made a really nice and interesting music piece. It didn't have a theme at all, but then I made the title, Paragraph 112. Is there anyone who don't know which paragraph in the Constitution that is? I think you all know that now, yes. When I started to write the piece, it was just an exchange where the paragraph had this this number instead. This. So, I think for the program in Trondheim Symphony, at the Symphony Orchestra there, it's had the wrong paragraph in the program. But they changed the title of the paragraph. Here it is, in Norwegian. It's basically saying that we have rights as humans to have the environmental taken care of by the authorities. And in the aftermath also of this paragraph, a huge festival called Klimafestivalen 112 has taken shape in Norway several times. I've been a part of that from the beginning also. Also arranged several concerts in Oslo, in Jakobkirken, with classical musicians, all playing for free for the sake of the climate. So that is the other way to. So that's the other way to be engaged in the climate. It's of course that you use your position and do something, not only use your art, but I think it's even easier to be heard if you are saying something aloud, besides being an artist. But you have to work very hard as an artist to be good enough so that people listen to you. Okay, so water level is one of these non-prestigious projects involving children, not getting so much attention, but it has been involving so many children in the coastal cities. For each time I realized this, I realized the work recording children, the place that I come. And what we are recording is music, graphical scores, if that says anything to you. It's not traditional notation, but we are defining some parameters, for example, pitch, up and down, volume, things like this. And then we're playing graphical scores, which are actually measurements from havnivå, from the water level. So let's see. So you can use, this can be a musical score. Composers from the 60s have shown us that we can use anything as a musical score. And this gives also an opportunity to talk about water level. What does water level mean in Norway? And the prognosis also how water level can change for the future. When I did this the first time, I worked with children from Tøyen. Here is a realization in the foyer at the opera. And these kids, they didn't know what water level was. They lived in Oslo. You know, that's quite something. I'll play a video that a festival in Bergen made when I realized the work there. And yeah, the festival is called Borealis. I'm not behind the production of the video at all. They just used it for their own production, so for promotion. That's it. Dere skal ikke springe på meg. Vannstand er et kunstprosjekt som er utviklet over tid sammen med min musikk, hvor jeg bruker unge og barn til å spille tidevannsmålinger og lokale vannstandsmålinger på det stedet som jeg jobber. Ja. Jo, det er 100 år, det her er 100 år, så dere kan tenke at dere skal lage en komposisjon som varer i 100 år. Neida. Partituret er basert på statistikk, på lokale tidevannsmålinger og på fremtidige prognoser for havnivåendring. Men så vet ikke forskerne om det kommer til å stige så mye, eller om det kommer til å stige så mye. Det kan stige ganske mye, eller det kan stige bare litt, men det kommer til å stige. Og vet dere hvorfor vannet stiger? Har dere hørt om det? Ja, fordi at jorda varmes opp, sånn at det er masse is i verden som smelter. Og da blir vannet litt høyere. Jeg tenker så vannet er så omfattende, altså i Norge også, at det har så mye å si for hvordan vi tenker og former landet vårt, og så mye hvordan vi forholder oss til naturen. Så, og det at ungene får spille vannstand. De spiller jo ikke bare de grafene de ser, men de spiller jo også sitt forhold til kysten, eller til vannet og til havet. I didn't know I was going to do this in English. I'm not saying that much different things in the text here that I've spoken about already. In Stavanger, this has been realized also now, recently, with this guy behind there. He is a presenter at Den kulturelle skolesekken. It's the official program for presenting culture in schools. And now they are doing it again this fall. They're putting up my installation, and he's showing a presentation, a video presentation that I will show to you now. And so far it's been seen by 2,500 school kids there in the concert house in Stavanger. I just checked before you came in now if the concert house is still sponsored by Statoil, which has changed the name to Equinor. I didn't find that, but I found that it's changed out Statoil with Shell, and when they, which is also, I don't know about all this stuff, but so it's not so much better. But there were huge posters with Statoil on when we did this in Stavanger Concert House. So that's also something for the parents and the kids to think about. I don't comment on it, but I see that they start to think themselves and ask questions. The kids that I recorded with in Stavanger, they were a little bit older. No, it's not that. This one. It's also made by the people in Stavanger. It's not
Vann.
Hva er det?
Vann.
Vann.
Water.
Vi har det jo sånn her i Norge at vi har tidevann, som ganske fint. Den blå streken, det er observert vannstand, det sånn som det egentlig Og det her var i slutten av forrige måned, da kom det en storm, og da ble plutselig floa veldig høy. Ser dere det her? Noen ganger så kan man skildre noe veldig sånn grafisk, at man spiller noe som går oppover, eller kanskje noe som blir sterkere og sterkere, eller noe som får større og større klang, eller hvis en akkord, at den blir større og større. På en ters, for eksempel, og så spiller man ytterpunktene. Og så går det litt sammen, og så går det ut. Hvis skal vi spille en rød helt sånn skjematisk, så kan du forholde deg liksom fritt til den blå, mer sånn inspirert. I thought it was longer. I have to eat my cake first. And then Olav, who is presenting, is talking about climate change and water level also, in addition to showing this video to all these kids that come by. So it's nice when work live by themselves without needing me to be present. Yes, I want to use the last 5 minutes about another way of expressing your climate engagement, but that's beside the art itself. is an initiative that I formed after being invited to create the program in Bergen, for Festspillene in Bergen, in 2012. Bergen International Festival, I think it's the right English name. And the Festspillene is, like many other festivals in Norway, sponsored by the oil industry. And this gave me so much cognitive dissonance that I had to take up with the leadership that I couldn't do it unless they removed Statoil's logo from all the concerts, that I was responsible for all the tickets and the programs and everything, which resulted in that they did that. They removed the Statoil logo and all the posters that were in town for the international artists that I had invited for my series, which was called Stemmer som teller. Voices That Matter was the name of the series that I created. It was 5 concerts, and I could not have Statoil's logo on that series. And it was possible to get this through. And that gave me like, wow, you know, you can actually change something. You can. So, and I was contacted by a volunteer at Festspillene who said that she refused to be a volunteer anymore because of the same reason, and then we just started. That was the first article I wrote. You can read all this in some WordPress later if you like. We launched Stopp oljesponsing av norsk kulturliv, altså Stop Oil Sponsorship of the Norwegian Cultural Life. Here we go. Here is the lanseringskronikken vår, the launching article. In 2013, and we were 3 individuals forming this. It was me and Ragnhild Frengdal and Elin Wister. We were very soon joined by the pop musician Martin Hagfors, and then later on we have been joined by Hasse Farmen, also a alternative rock musician. And Liv Nome, the artist Liv Nome, has come in later and helped us with a signature action against the banks of their investments there. We were very soon chopped the head off by Knut Olav Åmås in Aftenposten. He published the same day as our launching article, leader, where he said that this was kramperadikalisme av enkleste slag. So cramp radicalism of the simplest mean. I think he showed his real cramps there, and that how we answered back. And we also have been meeting these people in debates in Dagsnytt 18 and other places since. It's very demanding to do this in your spare time as an artist, but we are getting more and more people. In, I think, 2013, let's find this, Klassekampen. Are you from Klassekampen here? You are co-producing this, right? Who's from Klassekampen? No? Okay, no, they're just making commercial for it. They did a summer campaign based on our research, which festivals were sponsored by the oil lobby. Let's see if I find that, because that was very good. I was on summer vacation, so I just took the picture of this. I didn't have any PDF or anything, but they made a map based on our list of which festivals were sponsored by what, and it's practically everything, all the big festivals in Norway. And this is just the festivals. It's also the sponsorship of Norwegian culture is so massive. It's on all fronts, also in sports and education. We are trying to lift the debate, like what does that do to the way we speak about it, because it's creating silence. Because if you try to talk about it, if you have some involvement in this, and everybody has involvement in this because it's so massive, then you are being arrested as a hypocrite. So it's a way of keeping people silent. Then the oil lobby knows that. They're also playing on the thing that people don't distinguish between sponsor money and money that goes through the tax payment. That we cannot actually change with our democratic rules, and that is not only coming from the oil. So it's very hard to take this debate, and we have to start from scratch every time. So now, as a closing word, I would like to invite you to join us. You can, for example, some of you are on Facebook. I hate Facebook, but I have to do it because of my activism. We are here on Facebook. We are also on Twitter, and we have this blog. So please join.